What's happening, folks? Welcome to Hunting with Tripler. Last week you guys saw the first of 2 lockers I picked up from a facility, and today we're gonna crack into the second one. You know, I was always curious about the phrase storage wars, because at the end of the day, aren't you really just competing against yourself? Maybe the facility? So I wrote a little ditty about it. Storage wars, who am I battling with? How to get some goodies to go, yeah. That was totally weird. Don't miss this one.
I collect so many things. Would you like to share this journey with me? I will show you the prizes I got today. So come along with me, come on and join the chase. Yeah.
Folks, in today's episode, you'll be seeing the second locker that I purchased at a facility last week. You guys saw that episode and actually did pretty well. But for the most part, buying storage lockers are things that I kind of do every now and then. And at this point in time, I purely do them just for the fun and for the gamble. I will say this at the beginning of the episode. I know there are people out there who buy storage lockers and make really good money. I just know that there's a lot of instances that when you're looking at something on camera or when you're looking at a picture, that doesn't necessarily do justice. Now, over the years, I've spent a pretty decent amount of time watching storage locker videos on YouTube, but one of the common themes that you find from these channels is whether the integrity of the auction, specifically the online auctions, is legit. Meaning, are you actually seeing a locker in its original form, or has the facility done something to manipulate that? And that's always a question that people will ask, especially for those who are buying these listings online, because you don't get to smell it. I mean, you don't get to see it up close. And I know that sounds odd. When you're gonna buy something from a picture, I mean, I do it all the time. I buy things from Mercari, and granted, there's a return policy there, but with storage auctions online, there's no return policy. You're buying it and it's yours. You gotta clear it out or you basically lost your money. But there's those instances where you're gonna look at a locker and you're gonna say there's insane value here, but when you rip into it, disappointment can be an absolute wake-up call that makes you just not wanna do it very often. It sometimes could be amazing and sometimes you might just get lucky. Enjoy. You guys saw the first locker, we went through everything, and I mean, it was definitely not what we expected, but I'm telling you as I record this right now, I haven't actually looked through every single bin, so the episode in its conclusion is probably either better or worse than how I'm feeling right now, and I can't tell you. But I do know that we're gonna feel a lot better after we open this one, because I already know that when I saw it and what I was bidding on, I actually saw physical things that were worth money. So we're gonna open this right now, and hopefully feel a lot better than how I'm feeling right now. Let's do this. So out of the gate, we do have a laptop, which I knew wasn't gonna be worth a whole lot because it was a thick beast and it had that showing. So I think for the most part, this is going to be as good as perhaps a doorstop. Yeah, this is, I mean, these things can definitely go for some money still. I mean, there are people who actually might want that, but for the purposes of this video, it's going right there. And then we did have this sweet igloo cooler, so I'll take that. Not bad. I saw this and I can already tell you that it's not what I thought it was gonna be. I was hoping these were gonna be Beats and they are AT&T. They're AT&T headphones. So already some disappointment right out of the gate. This will not be disappointment. We have these 009 New Balance shoes, and these look like they're brand new. I mean, maybe 25, 35, 40 bucks. I love finding shoes like that. And then, what is this? You know what that is? That is a watch brand, my friends. I'm guessing the watch is not going to be in here. It's not, but something else is. We've got some jewelry. We've got part of the watch is here. So I don't know. Maybe we'll come across the watch, but this would be fantastic if we find it. I wasn't expecting to see this, but I mean, maybe even this case is probably worth something. We've got these Polo Ralph Lauren. I don't know what you would call these kinds of boots. They're in good shape. I basically got this locker mostly because of the shoes, so we're gonna be seeing quite a few pairs. They all look to be in fairly decent condition, but looks can always be very deceiving. We got a hat here that says home of the 562. That is Long Beach, my friends. Into the thick of it, we have these Interceptor, these Interceptor boots. I've never heard of that brand. I think maybe these could be like a cheap brand. Good condition, but I'm not guessing they're worth too much. I was looking at these Vapor Max, or these Air Max. They definitely have a pretty fair amount of wear on the bottoms. These are not gonna go for much. Jafra Royal Jelly. Okay, Global Longevity Balm. So that's pretty sweet. A few pairs of clothes here that are all hung up, so that's always kind of nice. We'll go through that. Looks like maybe a couple of jackets, some jeans. So yeah, we'll look at that in greater detail, but certainly not right here. Wow, what is happening here? These are Levi's, but they're like, what is happening? That's like paper. It's been thinned out so badly. What happened to these jeans? This is like a sale. They're Levi's though, so maybe someone wants a flag pair of Levi's. And then we come to our first hit. Oof. And it's an alarm. Hey, we got a razor, folks. I think this is brand new too. That sound is not gonna go off, so what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna stop talking and just show you the finds, and I'll do like a dub over because we're not gonna listen to this all day.
All right, so Emmanuel and I were really doing our best not to let that sound completely destroy our brains because it was really piercing. That laundry bag was not much of anything, but I pulled out this box and the shoes weren't in there, but it had a price tag of over $200. And I was excited, maybe those shoes will be in there. But then all of a sudden, here's what I find.
Oh, dude. Yes.
I think I uncovered what at this point in time was like a holy grail, but we'll get to that. Found a bunch of CDs. These were hopefully in good shape, but I didn't really inspect them too much here. CDs, DVDs, no video games. I found this bag here, and this bag has some significance later on in the video, but as I'm looking through it right here and right there, not much, just a whole bunch of random things, and I sort of just brushed it aside. Started pulling out some electronics. Each of these appeared to be interesting. Sony brand, Pioneer brand, tape players, CD players, and I think that last one was an amp. This box here had some vinyl. I will show you the vinyl later. This one had a lot nicer vinyl than the previous storage locker video, so for those of you who commented it and gave me some advice, I think this one might actually have some decent finds. A few other randoms in there, nothing crazy. This is where I started to freak out a little bit because what I thought was a gem from just a moment ago turns out that I'm seeing empty boxes. Yeah, seriously, I'm frustrated. I'm realizing it right now. Here, listen to what I say.
Don't do this. It's empty. Empty, no.
Yeah, so I'm flipping out. There's thousands of dollars worth of shoes if they were in there. I mean, we're talking all Jordan brands, and they were just empty boxes. And of course, in the listing, I'm seeing these boxes being highlighted, and of course they can't open them, maybe they can, but they were all empty. I was really frustrated. I kept working through it to hope to see maybe one box full. No, it just didn't happen.
Well, folks, talk about the ultimate letdown. You got to see some of this on camera, but you really didn't get to see all of it. Check out these boxes. These boxes represent thousands of dollars worth of shoe inventory, but every single one of them, totally empty. Now the good news is that the quality of the shoe is such that even with just the box only, I can still get a pretty decent amount of money on eBay for just the boxes. It's a bummer, but the truth is that I didn't miss out. There were enough items in this particular locker that will definitely make it worth it. And I think the boxes alone, surprisingly, are gonna probably go for over $200 for all of them sold. So that's definitely money back. Plus, there's a whole lot of goodies we haven't even gotten into yet. So not disappointed, but totally frustrated that there wasn't even one pair in there. You guys saw we had it outside and it was just way too hot, so I brought all this stuff inside. Gonna give you a quick breakdown of everything we picked up, and there were definitely a couple of surprises, one of which was some jewelry and 18 karat gold we found. That's a beautiful surprise anytime you're doing a storage locker, but it wasn't something that I could see, and the stuff that I could see, as I mentioned, it wasn't even in there. The boxes were totally empty. This was definitely a high profit venture. Again, I'll reiterate, definitely not something that I'm gonna be doing consistently on the channel. I don't love doing storage lockers. It's just something that I think will be fun for the channel, and there's always a gamble involved, and the gamble this time kind of paid off. This is not gonna be my consistent go-to with sourcing, let's put it that way. So I'll go ahead, flip it around, and show you the goods. Now on the media, there's some great CDs here. I'll probably lot all of these together and sell them individually. On the vinyl, I was definitely surprised, and I'm not a big vinyl person. In fact, I would say my knowledge of it is really small, but I'm gonna scan through these. You guys let me know if there's anything in here that really jumps out at you, something that might be worth putting up on eBay. Maybe this is all just decent. I really don't know. We've checked, I think most of these are in there. Rick James, baby. Prince, Billy Ocean, The Whispers, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Dynasty. But again, guys, I will ask if you know, let me know, because I don't. There he is. And that's kind of it. This is full of CDs and DVDs. I'm gonna try to sell this just because this looks fantastic, even though it's empty. It does have the actual links, the extra links that you could use. So there's another one, I think, inside the box there. And getting a closer look, this I don't think it's not real, but it's just weighted and it looks kind of cool. Might be something somebody wants. This is sterling silver. This is 18 karat gold. This is white gold. I think this was 18 karat gold. Maybe it's 14. No, this is 14. Yeah, so that says 14. This one here is 18. And so is this one here. Cool design. We found that on the side of a bag. This igloo case, well, I'll show you that. I'll probably take that home. That thing is fantastic. A bunch of jeans, and they are like so starched up that they're paper thin. It's really strange what happened to these jeans. I mean, I don't know who would do this, but they're Levi's, so I figured I'd keep them. Some hats. I've got hat lots that I put up on eBay. The shoes are decent. This is actually a new pair. The Interceptors, I'm not sure. I was talking to Emmanuel to see if these were worth anything. We haven't looked at those. The Polo Ralph Lauren's, I think those might have some decent value. These are Air Max, but they have been worn, so who knows. Work shirts, they're fairly decent. Wolverine and another brand. That Razor scooter is actually going for fairly decent money, and since it's new, it's got a box, it's pretty easy to ship. And I haven't tested any of these yet. The Sony tape player, if they work, sometimes, you know, those do sell pretty well. The Pioneer PD M450, sometimes, again, that can sell for pretty decent money. I think the Sony receiver, I don't think that's anything special. And then the Fisher record player, I doubt that's anything special. Can we just take a moment to be frustrated together? this is frustrating. The reality here though is this, and this are probably gonna make me about 75 to 100 bucks on just the boxes. And then the rest of them are actually good boxes. They're all the right sizes, 11, 10 and a halves. So, and they're all good. They're the name brand type of boxes. So I think in general, if I was saying I could get maybe close to $20 for these other boxes, and some of them are rough shape, but they'd still sell. I would guess conservatively here, I'm probably looking at over $200 worth of boxes. Some of you might laugh at me, but the reason why I know someone's gonna spend that money is because I actually have tried many times to buy just the boxes to complete some shoes. So maybe it's crazy, but I'm pretty sure these are gonna sell and I should do okay on them. So yes, I'm sweating, and this is kind of what it's like when you're in the thick of it. You know, you're working hard to get all this stuff ready. And I will say this, I've talked about it on the channel before. With storage lockers, unless you're actually physically seeing the item in the pictures and there's no possibility of deception, or there isn't something, maybe replaced in the box. If you're looking physically at the item, and then that's assuming the item actually works, you should be fine. But in this case, and in many of the cases where I've gone out and I've bought storage lockers, I've either taken a chance on something you don't see or taken a chance that the item I'm looking at is actually going to work. I would not recommend doing storage lockers if you're somebody who's just starting out. There's definitely the gamble, and that's kind of fun sometimes. I know there's people who make money doing storage locker flips, but it's not gonna be me, and I have nothing against people who do it. I'm just purely showing you guys a different form of getting inventory for your business, and it's purely a YouTube thing. You guys can clearly see that there's value there, so I mean, for that was worth it. And that is gonna do it for this one.
And folks, that was today's episode. I have to say that in an instance like this, you're kind of digging a little bit deep with respect to those boxes, right? I didn't score on any of those boxes because they were all empty, but I had to dig deep in finding that there is value in just the box alone. Of course, it would have been better if the shoes were in there, but I have to make the best out of a bad situation, especially when it comes to something like this. I absolutely refuse to have a failure with something like a storage unit. It's just not something I allow. And the gold helped quite a bit. Am I right? With that said, we have got to recap where we're sitting right now with our profit, because where we left off last week was extremely positive, but where we're leaving off right now, ooh, things are looking really good. Last week we left off with a profit of $7,327, and that felt so good after weeks of being in the negative. The cost this past week was pretty high. I had payroll, I had rent, and I had a number of big purchases, including all of the big models if you guys saw last week's episode. So the total cost for the last week, $5,186. That was very, very high. And Amazon blessed me with a payment of $0. I got absolutely nothing from Amazon. That was brutal. But as I said in the last week's episode, I do have a payout that's coming, and it's gonna be fairly significant. But guys, the reason why this feels really good is for this reason right here. Our eBay total for the week, $9,211. Now there's one item in there that really propelled this number to be so high, and we're gonna talk about that in next week's episode. I'm sure many of you can figure out exactly what that is, but I wanna save that for something a little bit more special. So that means the week's profit is $4,025 rounded up, bringing our grand total to date, $11,352. Guys, we are almost a quarter of the way to our goal. Once I get to that $15,000 mark, and we still have literally almost 4 full months left, we are doing so well at this point, and I am certain we are gonna reach our goal. So folks, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I certainly did. If you guys want to give me a like for this type of content, I would always appreciate it. Make sure you are a subscriber. And of course, I hope your weekend finds are fantastic. I hope your sales are just as good, and I will, of course, see you guys next time. Take care.